Welcome to Golden Years Garden, where we believe your gardening journey should be filled with as much creativity and personality as your landscape itself. If you're ready to see your outdoor space in a whole new light, you're with your people now. So imagine your garden not just as a collection of plants, but as a living canvas, a place where stories are told not only through blossoms and leaves, but through the very containers that hold them. Here we love to blend inspiration with practicality, which is why today we're shifting focus. We so often ask what to plant, but the real magic can start with where. That humble planter box is our blank slate, a simple structure of wood, metal, or stone waiting to be transformed into so much more than utility. It's a chance to inject your unique personality, spark conversations, and create those little pockets of wonder that make a garden truly yours. If that sounds like the kind of refresh you're looking for, do us a favor, hit that like button below. It truly helps us grow and bring more ideas to you. And share this video with a friend who might need a spark of garden inspiration. Let's begin. First, let's step into the realm of the unexpected repurposed. This idea is built on a simple, magical principle. See the object not for what it was, but for what it could be. Look around your home, your garage, at a flea market. There are stories waiting to be continued in a new form. That old, weathered wooden crate that once carried apples from an orchard, don't let its journey end. A quick check for stability, perhaps a line of landscape fabric inside to hold the soil, and it becomes a planter brimming with rustic charm. Plant it with cascading strawberries or fragrant herbs, and it tells a tale of harvest and reuse. But let's go further. That vintage suitcase with the beautiful faded floral lining and worn leather straps. Its traveling days may be over, but its adventure is not. Prop it open, drill a few drainage holes in the bottom, and nestle pots inside or fill it carefully with soil. Suddenly it's a whimsical display for delicate succulents or mosses, a literal case of portable garden magic. What about an old bicycle basket? Mount it on a wall or fence, line it with cocoa fiber, and let a waterfall of lobelia or ivy spill out. A retired kitchen colander becomes a perfect ready-drained hanging planter for petunias, its perforations creating beautiful dappled light on the soil. The key here is character. A chipped enamel teapot becomes a home for a single dramatic fern. A carved-out wooden log transforms into a native habitat for woodland plants. A grouping of mismatched, brightly colored rubber boots can become a playful, rain-ready display for cheerful annuals. This approach isn't about perfection, it's about patina, history, and surprise. It's a conversation starter. It whispers that your garden is a curated collection of found treasures, where every object has a past life and a new purpose. It teaches us to look at the world not as disposable, but as full of potential planters, waiting to be discovered. Now let's shift from the found object to the art of composition with our second idea, the textural tapestry. This concept is for the tactile soul, for those who love to run their hands over rough bark and velvety leaves. Here, the planter box itself is just the foundation, the loom upon which we weave a rich fabric of contrasting materials. It's about building layers of interest that captivate the eye and the hand, even before a single bloom appears. Start with the box. Instead of plain wood, consider cladded in a mosaic of broken ceramic tiles, pieces of mirrored glass, or smooth river stones set in mortar. This creates a permanent jewel-like texture that catches the light. Alternatively, wrap the sides in sheets of natural cork or attach panels of woven willow or bamboo fencing. The container becomes a sculptural piece in its own right. Next, we think beyond the soil line. Don't just fill the box to the brim with dirt, leave room on the surface to add a layer of textural mulch. This is where the tapestry truly comes alive. Instead of plain bark chips, use a layer of polished pebbles in a contrasting color, or perhaps a blanket of moss foraged or cultivated that stays cool and emerald green. Crushed seashells bring a coastal shimmering feel, while shredded copper leaves or rich, dark cocoa hulls add a refined aromatic note. This top dressing is the unifying thread of your composition. Finally, the plants themselves are chosen for their foliage first, flowers second. This is the living thread of the tapestry. Pair the sharp architectural spikes of a blue fescue grass with the soft mounding form of woolly thyme. Let the large, rubbery leaves of a Bergenia contrast with the feathery delicacy of asparagus fern. Include something velvety like lamb's ear, something glossy like an aspidistra, and something wispy like carex grass. The play of light on these different surfaces, matte, shiny, fuzzy, smooth, creates a depth and sophistication that is endlessly engaging. A textural tapestry planter is a feast for the senses, proving that beauty in the garden is as much about feel and form as it is about color. For our third idea, we embrace precision and living geometry with the modernist green wall. This is clean lines, deliberate spaces, and a dramatic vertical statement. Think of it as functional art for your exterior wall, fence, or balcony. The planter box here evolves from a singular container into a modular, repeating system that turns a blank vertical surface into a breathing, growing masterpiece. The classic approach is the staggered grid. Construct or purchase long, narrow, horizontal planters. Think sleek, deep boxes made of cedar, powder-coated aluminum, or even concrete. Mount them on a wall in a staggered pattern, like a grid that has been shifted slightly out of alignment. In each box, plant a single, repeating species. Perhaps a flowing river of sedum angelinas with its fiery golden tips in one box, a neat row of dark green boxwood balls in the next, and a spray of evergreen ferns in a third. The repetition creates rhythm, while the staggered placement adds dynamic energy. But let's take the vertical garden even further. Instead of boxes, use a system of pocket planters made from felt or a durable recycled material. Mounted on a backing board, these pockets create a lush, seamless wall of foliage. Here you can create a living painting. Use different plants as your palette. A swath of black mondo grass for dark contrast, a cloud of baby's tears for soft brightness, and accents of colorful heuchera or creeping jenny for pops of purple or gold. It's a living mosaic that changes subtly with the seasons. The beauty of the modernist green wall is its space-saving efficiency and its sheer visual impact. It can conceal an unsightly fence, define an outdoor room, or bring life to a stark modern facade. It demands a more curated plant selection. Drought-tolerant succulents, hardy perennial herbs, and compact ferns are ideal candidates. Irrigation can be simplified with a built-in drip system hidden within the grid. This idea speaks to the innovator, the urban gardener, anyone who looks at a wall and sees not a barrier, but the most exciting planting space of all. Finally, we arrive at a concept that brings joy, movement, and a touch of fantasy: the elevated whimsy. This is where your garden becomes a storybook, a playground for the imagination. The planter box in this theme is not just a container, it's a stage, a pedestal, a launching point for playful surprises. It's about breaking the plane of the ordinary and introducing elements of delight. Start with height and asymmetry. Don't just place boxes on the ground. Mount them on tall, painted legs of varying heights to create a cluster of floating gardens. Use shepherd's hooks, brackets, and hanging chains to suspend boxes at different levels, allowing plants to dance in the air. This immediately creates a dynamic, layered look. Then, introduce the unexpected within the planting. It's not just about the container, but what shares the space with the plants. Imagine a shallow, wide box planted with a rolling lawn of miniature mondo grass or moss. Curving through this green landscape is a tiny pebbled path. Alongside it, a miniature bench sits under the shade of a carefully pruned dwarf Japanese maple. You've created a living diorama, a garden within a garden. Whimsy is in the details. A simple window box overflowing with red geraniums becomes a different story when a charming, weather-resistant birdhouse on a stake is nestled among the blooms, as if the flowers are welcoming visitors to a tiny door. A deep trough planted with tall, reed-like grasses can become a hidden haven for miniature fairy garden accessories. A tiny lantern, a ceramic toadstool, a little mirror as a pond. For a modern twist, paint a geometric, colorful pattern on a plain box before planting, turning it into a piece of pop art. You can even play with light. Line the inside rim of a planter with delicate solar-powered fairy lights, so at dusk, the box begins to glow from within, highlighting the forms of the plants. The key to elevated whimsy is a sense of discovery. It invites the viewer to look closer, to smile, to be transported. It reminds us that a garden is a place for joy, for imagination to take root alongside the petunias and the sage. So there we have 4 doorways into a more creative garden: the unexpected repurposed, full of history and surprise; the textural tapestry, a sensory feast of touch and form; the modernist green wall, where clean lines meet living art; and the elevated whimsy, where playfulness takes root. Each of these ideas starts with a simple shift in perspective. See the potential in the old, appreciate the beauty in texture, envision the vertical plane, and dare to invite a little magic. Your garden is your outdoor room, your sanctuary, your gallery. Let your planter boxes be the frames, the pedestals, the foundational elements that set the tone for the living art they hold. Don't just plant a box, create a moment, tell a story, build a world. The soil is waiting, the seeds are ready, and the only limit is the edge of your imagination. Now go out and decorate your garden not just with flowers, but with ideas. Until next time, happy planting.